Hello, and welcome to episode 19 of the Learning English Fast podcast with me, your host, Eli. Thank you so much for watching or listening to me today. I just want to remind you that down below in the description, there is a vocabulary list for you if you want to learn any new words, as well as a transcript if you want to see every single word that I said during this podcast episode. All right, so today the topic is family vacations. Family vacations. I know most people have some type of family, and I know many people have special family traditions or special things they do with their family on a regular basis. For my family, growing up, we were not too rich. Like, we never really had so much money, but my parents, they always did the best that they could. They always tried to make me and all my brothers happy, no matter what, no matter what our family situation was. And I really respect them for that because I know having so many kids can be very difficult. And if you don't have a lot of money, it can be very hard to be able to, give them some happiness. But my parents, we didn't really need so much to be happy. So our family vacations were very simple. Like, we wouldn't go to like Disney World or Disneyland. We wouldn't go to these huge amusement parks or things like that. But my parents were very nice people. They were so kind. So they were always able to have so many friendships and they knew so many people. So my father had a good friend who owned a cabin on a lake. Or there was also some RVs at the lake as well, but there was a cabin. So my father, he would ask this friend, "Hey, I know in the summer you don't go to this cabin on the lake. Is it okay if I take my family there for a vacation?" And my father's friend is a good friend. He said, "Of course, please feel free." My father believes that if you want something, you should ask for it. And you should not be afraid to ask. My father will always said, the worst a person can say is no. If they say yes, fantastic. If they say no, that's okay. Don't be afraid to ask. So my family, for so many years, every summer, we would go to this lake house or this cabin on the lake together, and there was no one around us. There's no one there. Only this cabin, only my family. And of course, there would be some deer there as well. And my family would drive in the car maybe 2 hours, an hour and a half to make it to this cabin deep in the woods. When you get there, there is a big gate. And then we have to get out of the car, open the gate, then drive down the trail deep into the forest. So many trees. But then you see it. In the distance, you see the beautiful lake. You see the beautiful cabin. And you know it's going to be a good vacation. When we make it to the cabin, first we take everything out of the car, some suitcases, some backpacks, and we bring them into the house. After that, my brothers and I want to go swimming right away. We want to go play right away. So we put on our swimsuits and we jump into the lake. Also, there is a little fishing boat there. So my dad brings out the fishing poles and the bait to catch some fish. And so some of us, we choose to go fishing, and some of us, we choose to go swimming. For me, I like to swim. I love water. So I usually would choose swimming. But one year, I decided to go fishing on the boat with my father, and I thought it was so boring. For me, going fishing is not a very fun time because, you sit down, you throw out your line, you wait. And for me, that's not something interesting at that time. Now I love fishing. I really enjoy it. But when you're young, you think, oh, I want to move. I don't want to sit down. And so I remember when after, I don't know how old was I, maybe 7 or 8, but I was going fishing with my dad on the lake and we were returning in the boat. And I was in front of the boat and I was standing up. My dad said, Eli, sit down. You can fall. But in my mind, I was thinking, no, I'm a cool hero. I can stand. So I'm standing at the front of the boat. Then the boat hit the sand and the boat stopped suddenly. And I fell down and I cut my knee. My knee had a very big cut with so much blood. And of course, I was crying. And my dad said, Eli, I told you, I told you. I learned my lesson. But now I have a scar on my knee from that time. Every time I see the scar, I remember that time. Don't stand up in a boat. Sit down. It's important. And also, during the cabin time, at night, you can hear animals in the forest. You can hear deer, you can hear owls, you can hear raccoons. And sometimes in the morning, if you wake up very early, you can see a deer. And the deer, they come so close to the cabin. It felt like you can touch them. So, the deers were a very special time for me to see. I love animals. I like to eat them. But it was very special to see it. Another special activity we would do during the family vacation was driving. Our father would let me or one of my brothers drive the car on the road because the area is a very, very quiet area. There's no one there, there's no cars. So my dad said, all right, boys, you can try to drive. And so my brothers drove on the road, and I remember when it was my turn, I was so nervous. I did not know what to do. So I'm driving very, very slow, but I get too nervous and I go too far to the right. And my dad says, Eli, stop, stop, Eli, stop. I don't stop. And the car, zoop, it falls into the ditch. And I was crying, oh, Dad, I don't want to drive anymore. And so we switched sides. My dad drove instead. And after that, I was kind of scared of driving because in my mind, I think, oh no, I will just fall into the ditch. I will fail. But now I'm old. I have my license. So I was able to beat that fear. What else did we do during the camping time? Of course, we have a campfire. And at the campfire, we would make so much food. My dad would make fresh fish. So the fish that he caught in the boat, he would cut it, take out the meat, and we would cook the fish on the fire. And it would be so delicious. We would eat s'mores together. Do you know what s'mores are? S'mores are a special camping dessert that Americans eat. To make a s'more, first you need a graham cracker. Then you need a marshmallow. Then you add chocolate on top. That's a s'more. But before you eat the marshmallow, you put the marshmallow on a stick. And then you put the stick into the fire. And the fire makes the marshmallow very, very soft, very gooey. Gooey is a good word. Gooey means like very sticky. And then you put that on the graham cracker with the chocolate. Oh, it's so, so good. I recommend you can make it at your home. You can find graham crackers anywhere in the world. And you can find, marshmallows anywhere in the world. But if you need a fire, you can use your air fryer or you can use your stove. Turn on your stove, put the marshmallow over the little flame, and bam, you can make a s'more at home. Very easy to make. Yeah, so my camping trip with my family, every year, it gave me so many good memories. Some bad memories, but mainly good. And I wish that I can do it again with my whole family. I hope one day that when I have a child, a son or daughter, that I can give them a good family vacation. I would love to take them to go camping outside. But what about for you guys? Those of you who are listening or watching, what kind of family vacations have you taken in the past? How about even now? Like, where do you go with your family during vacation time? Do you guys prefer to go outside, go to a new country, or do you prefer to stay home and just relax? For me, I think going out and traveling is one of the best ways to have a family vacation. But that's just my opinion. All right. Yeah. So that's about it for today. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And please remember that if you want to practice your English with me, that I have a special program down in the description for a special 4-week or 7-week English course to level up your English. All right. So again, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later. Bye bye.